Hello everyone, my name is Kariatu and I wanted to make this video because I recently arrived from Nassau, Bahamas after a week vacation with my family. And my family included my 8-year-old daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, myself, and my partner, my husband. And I thought while I was there, I thought, you know what? I think, there's a lot of things that, obviously I read online that were true. And also some things I thought maybe I didn't see much of. So I wanted to make this video with the intention of, helping other people who are thinking of going to the Bahamas, specifically if this is your first time, and also if you're going there with your family like I did. And so this video is going to be two parts. I'm going to do the positive parts of going to Bahamas and what to expect, and then some of the negative things also. And again, my intention is coming from a good place. It's really just to allow people to be informed and know what to expect when going to the Bahamas. So I hope that if you're watching this, you will receive it in good faith, especially if you are somebody who is from the Bahamas. And you don't, my aim is not to offend anyone, but really just to share my experience with the intention that it will be helpful to, somebody, looking to go to the Bahamas for the first time. So this video specifically is going to be about the positives of going to the Bahamas. And one of the things that I really like about the Bahamas is how easily accessible it is, especially for people who live in the United States like me. I live in New Jersey, and it was a quick plane ride. I think it was even less than 3 hours. It was supposed to be 3 hours, but we made it, in less than 3 hours. So it was a quick, flight, and that makes all the difference, especially if you have kids that you're traveling with. The less time you can spend at the airport or in the plane, the better it is, because you're gonna have a kid who's not cranky, and the quicker you can get to your hotel or lodging and be able to start your vacation. So I really appreciated it, because my 3-year-old, if you're a mom, you know how hard it is for them to sit still. Thank God she actually fell asleep. So by the time she woke up, we only had like maybe 20 minutes remaining for the flight. So that was really great. And I think that's something that's great about the Bahamas, is how easily you can get there. There's so many flights that go there daily. Also, because it's so easily accessible, it makes it easy to find a flight that's affordable. So you can really find really good deals on airplane ticket to get to the Bahamas. So that's one of the positives. Another positive, the second positive, is just how friendly the Bahamian people are. They're so kind. They're funny. They want you to have a good time. Like, they want you to enjoy their country, and they really go out of their way to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're having a good time. There were so many times where we were just walking around, and people will come up to us and say, "Hello, how are you? Like, is this your first time in the Bahamas? How is your vacation going?" They were genuinely interested in how the vacation was going, and they offered different advice, like different activities you can do, where to find like affordable food and stuff. So I really appreciated just how hardworking, friendly, and just easygoing the Bahamian people are. And I appreciated that, because if you read online, there's so many negative, like, oh, the people are aggressive. They try to get you to buy stuff from them. You'll be careful. There's like a lot of crime, shady people. I did not experience any of that, and I didn't see any of that around me. I saw, there are people who you can tell, okay, they stay away from them. But that was like far in between. For the most part, people are just going about their day trying to make a living, So, I experienced people who wanted people to come to their country, who welcome people, and they wanted you to have a good time. I even love how they take pride in their appearance. Like the Bahamian people are beautiful. You know, the women, you know, they do their hair, their makeup, the way they dress. You know, they take pride in their appearance. You know, the staff at the hotel, I was, you know, talking to my husband about this, and I'm like, you know, they remind me of British people because they're very formal. They have their uniforms. They wear, like the women, they wear tights, like leggings, tights, I think it's called, under their uniforms, and they take great pride in their appearance. So I love the Bahamian people, and that's one, you know, a reason why I will go back to to Bahamas, just because how friendly and welcoming the locals are. The third positive aspect of going to the Bahamas and something you can expect and look forward to is their amazing food. Bahamian people know how to cook, okay? And I'm African. We know how to cook. You know, I'm around Jamaicans, other Caribbean people, so I've had Caribbean cuisine, and I can definitely say that Bahamian food is one of the best I've had. Like they really know how to cook, and like it's not just the women; the men can cook. Like actually, thinking about it, most of the restaurants that we went to, the chefs were men. You know, like they were cooking. So both the women can cook, the men can cook, and when I say like they can cook, they can really cook. I had I tried conch salad for the first time. There's actually a video of that, so you can check it out on this channel, where I went to a restaurant, and the host, the owner, was so kind enough to allow me to video the process of making conch salad. I was very hesitant, but I ended up loving it, and I had conch salad every day. Every day while I was in the Bahamas, I had to have it. Like I got addicted to it, and so the food is excellent. Obviously, it's an island, so they have access to fresh seafood. It's very affordable. We had like lobster. We had like different type of fish. You know, like shrimp. And when I said they can cook, they can cook. Everything was tasty. I mean, like we went to the fish fry. So the fish fry, if you're in Nassau, it's an area where they have like little huts, you know, different restaurants, and you know, you can choose to go to each one to buy food. And generally, food at the fish fry is more affordable than you would get from your hotel or in other restaurants in the city. So we ate mostly at the fish fry, excuse me, because it was just affordable and the food was great. You know, so the food is just excellent. The peas and rice, amazing, well seasoned. So if you're going to the Bahamas, you have good food to look forward to. Um, Something else that's positive about the Bahamas is there are plenty activities you can do, and this was important for me as a mom. Like I said, like I was traveling with kids, a 3-year old and an 8-year old, and I didn't want to spend all my time just at the beach. Like I wanted to be able to go out and explore the community. Nassau, I wanted to drive around. We rented a car. We drove around, and you know, we went to Adastra Gardens, which is like a it's like a zoo. It's like a, I'm trying to think, I'm blanking out like how to describe it. It's like a rehabilitation center. They have different animals, macaws. They have the flamingos, the pink flamingos. They have a show you can participate in. You can pose with the flamingos, and my kids love it. You know, and I have pictures from it. It was amazing. We went to Blue Lagoon. This is like an excursion that you pay, and they take you into like the Blue Lagoon. It's like a separate island, and you're able, you know, to swim there. There's a beach there, and we were able to do like interact with the dolphins. So they have dolphins there. You know, so we did like a family thing. We went down with the trainer into the little holding place where the dolphins is, and our dolphin's name was Gombe, and he was just the cutest thing. and they do different poses, so you can touch them, you can take pictures, you can kiss them. That was like the highlight of our trip. Everyone loved it. Like even my kids are like, "Oh my god, I want to go back, Gombe, Gombe." So it's really they're like you have access to a bunch of different activities. There is the Atlantis Aqua Adventure, which is like a water park you can buy a day pass to, so you don't have to stay at the Atlantis Resort. You can just buy a day pass and go to it. We didn't do that one because we stayed at the Margaritaville Resort, and they have a water park of their own. So it didn't make sense for me to go to another water park while we have one at our hotel. And so, my daughter loved it. They have they had a lazy river, water slides, pools. They have a hot tub and a private beach. So I really loved it. It made it easy because I didn't have to, worry about like, oh, go find a beach to go to, pay for, a chair or anything. Everything was inclusive. Like the beach, the private beach, and the water park was inclusive. So I really appreciated it. So if you are a parent and you're thinking of traveling to Nassau specifically, look into the Margaritaville Resort. It's worth it. I feel like it's an affordable option to Atlantis. So I really love it. It's a beautiful hotel. It's right in the center of everything, so you don't really need to have a car. Which we rented a car because we didn't realize that it was going to be so centrally located. So you may not need a car because everything is within walking distance. One thing I will say though, if you do have a small child, make sure you bring a stroller for them. That way, you can walk around, you can push them around. If not, then you're going to need a car. So friendly people, excellent food, and then plenty activities. Like I said, they even have options where you can like swim with the pigs. Like you can go to like I don't think it's Paradise Island. There's an island where you can go and you can swim with the pigs. You can interact with like stingrays, sharks. Not touch them, but you can see them. And so like there's so much things you can do with your kids. You can do you can visit museums. There's the Queen Staircase, Fort Finn Castle, which those two actually have a video of us going there. You can check that video out. Um, you can snorkeling, you can go snorkeling, swimming. What else? If you're an adult or a couple going together, NASA has a very active nightlife, so you can go clubbing. They have different shows that they put on at night. They have the casinos. You can rent a private boat, and it can take you out, for like a late night dinner cruise. So it's a very active, it's very lively. Finding things to do is not going to be one of your concerns because there's just so many things you can do. And like I mentioned, there are a lot of luxury hotels in the Bahamas, and specifically Nassau, and most of them have so many activities just by themselves. So if you're somebody who don't want to explore, you just want to go to the hotel and just stay there, you can find something like that easily that has everything that you need, and you can just stay there and enjoy your stay. And that takes me into the next positive thing about the Bahamas. There's so many luxury hotels there, but also there are affordable options, so you don't have to break the bank. And I know, going on vacation and specifically to a place like Bahamas can be very expensive. But if you do your research and you plan ahead of time, you can find something affordable, So there's very lodging options for you to stay. You can find something within your budget that makes sense. But I will suggest, if you are a parent, I will highly recommend that you stay in a hotel, a resort. It just makes things easy, I think. For me, like I said, we stayed at the Margaritaville Resort, and it had everything, and so it just made it easy in terms of like trying to navigate. It was everything was just there, so it was easy. It made the trip less stressful for us because we had more time to spend as a family. Um, and then the other thing I really love about the Bahamas, and I have to give them credit, I have to give the government credit for this, is, obviously the Bahamas is a developing country, which I understand. I'm African, I'm coming from Sierra Leone, and I know the struggles that comes with living in a country that's developing. Sometimes the government don't always do what they're supposed to do in order to maintain the country, whether it's the infrastructure or just like basic things, like electricity, having light 24/7. A lot of those basic things oftentimes in developing countries get neglected. However, in the Bahamas, again, I give them so much credit for how much effort they put into maintaining their country. With what the roads are clean. There are parts that they may be a little bit sketchy, but generally speaking, it's very clean. You're not going to see dirt or garbage laying around. They do a good job with keeping the country clean. The water is turquoise blue. Like, I was so amazed at how clean the water is. I didn't even see trash or anything, nothing, no litter. Like, they do a great job of keeping the water, the beach is very clean. So bravo to you, like Bahamian people, Bahamian government officials, tourism board. You guys are doing a great job with that. Like, and I feel like that is something that really needs to be highlighted. It's the effort that goes that the Bahamian people put into maintaining their country. And I think this is why it's easy for somebody like me and other people coming to the United States to go there and be able to navigate, because, they know that their economy, a huge part of it tourism, and they really go out of their way to make it easy for people to be able to just, get off the plane and just, navigate yourself around the island without much difficulties. So again, bravo to you, Bahamian people, bravo to the government and the tourism board. You guys are doing an amazing job with maintaining your waterways and the country. And so, I appreciated that. When you go somewhere and it's clean and it's organized, it helps relax you. It helps you feel safe. And I felt all of those things just because of how, clean the roads were, the beaches were. There are some concerns, which again, I'll address in the cons when I do the other video of this, which is like the negative parts of things. But overall, I have to give you guys credit for just a job well done with keeping your water clean. And the water is amazing, right? So this is like, these are the cons for me. So again, it's like easy access to the Bahamas, friendly people, excellent food, plenty activities to do, affordable lodging options, clean environment, and just I feel like any one of these reasons is enough for somebody to want to go to the Bahamas. So I would definitely go back. And again, this is personal to me because I'm African, and so when I went there, I felt like I was home in Africa. And just because people look like me, like I saw people that look like people I know back home in Africa. Like I saw someone that looked like my husband's aunt, no, not aunt, uncle. And I was like, oh my God, like they look like, I just felt comfortable. I just felt at home because they look like me. And I know as Black people, sometimes, and I know this is true for me, when I want to go somewhere, I want to know, how do they treat Black people, and like, are we welcome? Do I have to worry about racism? Like, are we going to be discriminated against? So that is a huge concern because I want to spend my money somewhere where I'm going to be welcome. And, as a Black person going to the Caribbean generally, it feels safe because you're not going to stand out. You don't necessarily have to worry about racism. And, I've been to other Caribbean countries, and I have to say, like, Bahamas, really, the Bahamian people, really embraced me. Like, they noticed my accent immediately. They're like, "Oh, you have an accent. Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from the US." They're like, "No, where are you from?" Because they knew the accent is from somewhere else, not the US. And I'll tell them, "Oh, I'm from Africa. I'm from Sierra Leone." They're like, "Oh, we knew that." They're like, "We're all African. Welcome, welcome." We're like long lost relatives. So they really embraced me. They made us felt welcome. So I thank you guys for that. It's almost like a homecoming. I think sometimes when people think of homecoming, especially in the African concept, Black discussion, you're talking about people going back to Africa, and then you're going back home and getting reconnected. But I feel like you can also get that sense when you go to the Caribbean, especially an island that has majority Black people. There's just an unspoken aspect of Black culture that it remains the same. It's been the same through time. So whether you're in Africa, whether you're in the Caribbean, I feel like if you're a Black person, you can pick those things, you can see them. Whether it's the way people talk, the way they interact, the jokes, the food. So I really appreciated that. Like, there were times where I felt so emotional because I was looking at people that look like me, like that look like people I know. So, just for that reason, as a Black person, you should definitely go to the Bahamas. So, again, thank you so much. My intention, again, is just to highlight, the positives of going to the Bahamas, especially Nassau. I know there are a lot of negative things sometimes, but I think we need to highlight appreciate the positives also. So I hope that this video is helpful. And again, like, if you're not a Black person, that doesn't mean you don't have to go to the Bahamas. I mean, obviously, thousands and thousands of people, non-Black people, go to the Bahamas all the time. So that was just something I think as a Black person, you tend to notice when you go to a majority Black country, especially if you're living in the US, and with racism and discrimination. I think when you go somewhere where you don't have to experience those things, it really stands out and you appreciate it. But as a white person, a blue person, whatever color you are, religion, the Bahamas welcomes you. So you can definitely go there and you can have a great time. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much. Bye bye.